order to do that, we're going to have to take a little walk into. So, why don't you come with me and we'll take a little walk around so I can show you my next guest. Go take a look inside and see just who my special guest is here for you today. All right, Viewpoint Asia. So here is the owner of this fine establishment right here for you. So, hey man, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Shen. I'm from Viewpoint. I've been living in Thailand for like years, and continue my education in the university in Taiwan. And after I graduated, I just came back here to open the store along with the family and my brother.
Huh. So this is your family business?
Yeah, so it's my family business.
Oh, okay. So tell us, what type of business do you have?
My business is selling milk tea.
A milk tea?
Yes, milk tea.
So what kind of options do you have available for your clients?
Yeah, just ordinary Taiwanese boba milk tea. It's originated from Taiwan and been popular along Southeast Asia like Philippines, China, Indonesia.
All right, Raishan. So can you tell us a little bit about your business process? How do you go about the process of making milk tea?
So for that, we have to ensure our profitability. We have to understand the customer, knowing what they want. For this, I have been asking like 40 to 50 customers about what kind of flavor do they like, what kind of menu do they want to add, and we just trying to adapt our menu with them. We just change and improve our store along with the requirement, with what they want. And the difference of our store and the other store is that our store has a sign of working station. So like, for instance, other store you gotta wait for like 2 to 5 minutes for a drink, but in our store you only need 30 seconds to get a drink. Like, we have been working on designing our working process really hard.
So how is your process different from your competitors?
We try to prepare the materials from we provide tools to our employees, and we ask employees like what's gonna make their works easier, what's gonna make their works faster, and they will give you pretty good answer about it, about what's gonna help their works easier. Like, a lot of boss tend to make their employees work harder, but at here we try to make their works easier.
So you like to make your employees work smarter, not harder?
Yes. Okay. Work smarter, not harder.
So how has your process differ from, let's say, like another one or another Taiwanese bubble milk tea store?
For the tea part, when we brew the tea, we brew it at home factory, and we freeze it and then deliver it to here. Because if you boil the tea here, tea is a very delicate. The tea brewing process is very delicate. Like, if you brew it for like 30 seconds more, the taste is gonna change. So we want to keep that flavor as good as possible, as perfect as possible. So we brew it at home and we sit and then set it here and melt it here.
So your consistency of product is better than that of your competitors.
Yes, the consistency is better. Every cup of tea will has exactly the same taste. But while the store has different tastes like pretty much all the times.
What would you say is the favorite milk tea of choice here in Thailand?
Classic milk tea and the jasmine milk tea. Those are two favorite stuff for Thai people.
So what is the favorite choice for milk tea in Taiwan?
Just milk tea.
Just regular milk tea?
Just regular milk tea. Sometimes sugar-free tea is what most of the Taiwanese order.
So, Rachel, could you tell us, what are your views on the state of the global economy?
I think everything will still stay the same. It will have to grow at the same stable rate, and some country will decline at a stable rate. But unless there are some impactful technology like automobile or the internet, I think there's not going to be a lot of change in global economy.
So you think that the global economy will stay the same?
Will be pretty much stay the same, especially the developed country. But for some countries that those are developing, like Thailand, China, Southeast Asia, or India, places like this will have more growth than other countries.
So let me just give you some statistics, fill in some gaps. So in China, we see there is a decline in their auto sector. In New Zealand, we see that there was a minus 30% drop in their housing market. And we have also some declining housing market in London and Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne. So we see that there is a decline happening, as well as with freight shipments going back and forth between Pacific, between China and the United States, and between China and the rest of the countries. So, with that being said, if we see this global slowdown, do you still think that we will have a slowdown at a steady pace, or do you think that we could potentially have another 2008 moment where things kind of completely fall apart?
I'm not an expert on economics, but my straight opinion, I think that the economic crisis happens like every 1 or 2 decades, so it's bound to happen. But I think nobody can really predict that how hard will it hit. And all we can do is we try not to leverage too much on the financial part, like what we did on 2008, the subprime mortgage in the United States. Actually, throughout the history, unless there are some impactful technologies like railway or the light or the internet, there won't be too much impacts on the economy. This is what I thought. Unless there are some impactful technology, the economy is going to change when there's something new came out. But currently, I don't see anything.
So what do you think about China introducing what they call the new version of the internet?
New version of the internet? I haven't heard about it. You mean like 5G?
So what the Chinese are basically, the Chinese government they came out and said in their most recent technology expose that they have a grand vision for redesigning the internet and basically for opening up communication sector with 5G, as you said, not just limiting it to Western or specific nations, but opening up to the rest of the world. This should be able to fix a couple of bottleneck issues. Just in general, what do you think about China leading in something like that instead of a country like the United States or the United Kingdom?
They're pretty huge topics. China is a powerful country that bound to have their own infrastructure. I think the reason that they trying to develop their own internet is like the reason they trying to develop their own aircraft carrier, their own jet planes. They're trying to develop this technology by themselves. They did this space program a while back then. because they don't want to rely the technology on too much on the Western. Like they want to be part of the superpower country. And this is what a superpower country has to do. They have to have their own technology to sustain their own country.
What do you think that would do between the relationship between the West and China, or the West and the East, if you have a country like China, who for the vast majority of the time that we know about has been the underdog, and now you have the Chinese who are now calling the shots in the vast majority of the world, and you have the West seemingly taking a back seat?
Right. First of all, I want to say that I'm a Taiwanese, and it's like England and Scotland, like they tend to hate each other. It's pretty much the same between Taiwan and China.
What do you think about President Trump and his trade policies?
Trade policy. U.S. has been through the Great Depression in 1930s, and it was happened because there was trade restriction between the Europe and the America, and I think the trade restriction gonna harm both China and the U.S. at the same time. So and as today, China cannot afford any economic crisis, because that's going to lead to the split of nations, like the Tibet incident, and for right now is the Hong Kong incident. They try to avoid that as much as possible. If they got like too many unemployed population, there's gonna bound to be these. It's going to be very dangerous to China, so they can't afford any economic crisis. So what I believe is both US and China, they are not committed to do this trade war. I think this is a setup for Trump to win the election in 2020. Yes, I'm talking about the China government working with Trump. This is my opinion.
So tell us about, how does Taiwan view what's going on with the protests down in Hong Kong?
In general, for most of Taiwanese, I think they will look at this as a Hong Kong people fighting for their own right, for their own democracy. In my own personal opinion, I think it is just it's a little bit complicated. I think the protest was started because the politician in Hong Kong has been oppressed by the Chinese government, and they somehow have to take their power back, and they trying to do this protest to gain his power back, especially for the businessmen in Hong Kong. And there was law restriction that makes Hong Kong businessmen pretty bad, that put them into the bad spot. I mean, there are some laws that Hong Kong businessmen can't run their business well, and I think this is the main reason why they have such a strong protest going on in Hong Kong from a very small incident. Yeah.
So, what do you think about the tensions between Iran and the United States?
Iran and United States has been there for war, like for oil, for decades. Yeah. And United States pull off their military base from Iran, or are they still there?
So in Iran, we don't have any military bases in Iran, but we have military bases surrounding them. So in Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar.
Okay.
So tensions have been escalating over the last couple of weeks, with the United States sending soldiers. We have China sending troops to Syria, so the Chinese are in the region. You have Turkey sending ships. We have Russia, all kind of players meeting up in the Persian Gulf region right now. So Iran just recently shot down a U.S. drone and said that they are ready to meet the U.S. in battle should the U.S. decide to go to war. So my question to you is, do you think the United States and Iran will go to war?
Potentially, maybe. I think it's happening right now. They set up so many military vessels around the Iran, unless Iran government has surrendered before the war breaks out. Yeah, as you can see that Turkey, Russian, and Chinese also work together with the U.S. This is why I said the trade war was the setup for Trump to win the election in 2020. You can see that these superpower countries are working together, even in the Middle East, problems. Yeah. So yeah, I think unless Iran, from my perspective, U.S. country like U.S., Russia, and China, they are all really good at diplomacy. Like if they cannot talk. If they can't have a good deal with Iran, meaning that Iran want to wage war for this. So yeah, I think the war may gonna break out.
So what do you think about gold and silver?
Gold and silver? Do you mean the bling bling?
Get a bling bling, man.
Yeah. All right.
What do you think about gold and silver in terms of having value? What value do you think it has?
I have to talk about some in-depth psychology behind the gold and silver.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Give us a small breakdown of this psychology.
There's this about 10 to 20% of the population. They can get very excited or very dope on the fame. I mean, they can get very excited about the fame, about the sense of getting control, the sense of bossing other people around, or the sense of the ego. They have for them, ego is like the drugs. If they have it, they're gonna get very excited about it. It's like having drugs, like all the Gucci bags or the Louis Vuitton bags or the Mercedes. Those things gonna pump their dopamine up a lot, and this is why lots of people, they tend to have those bling bling on themselves, like good watches, good bags, luxury cars, sport cars, because that's gonna boost their brain up.
So you think that people who have gold and silver have it as a way just to boost their own ego, to feed their ego?
To feed their ego inside their brain. It's a very physical response for them.
So,
but for people like us, which is about 10-20%, we tend to not get too excited about the fame and the ego. It's like, for us, it's like drinking. Like if somebody prays you, you're gonna be happy, right? But the sense you're gonna feel like you're drinking a Coca-Cola or a soft drinks. But for these majority people who spend all his entire saving just for a supercar, or these people, for them it's like a cocaine or a heroin or like marijuana. That's wrong for them.
So, do you view gold and silver as money?
It's a way to show up, to satisfy their own ego.
So, do you think that gold and silver actually has real monetary value, like a paper buck?
In the past, I would think that it's a form of credibility. If you are rich enough to do business with other people, and it also won the credibility from others. But right now, I just look at it as a drugs. But as you guys know, that the addictive drugs are also very expensive. So I think it's kind of works that way. It kind of works like drugs.
So do you ever think that gold and silver can be used as a way to protect someone's wealth or their entire household in a time of hyperinflation?
You mean like gold?
Gold or silver?
Gold or silver.
So Are you familiar with what happened in Venezuela?
I know there's thing happening in Venezuela, but I don't know exactly what is going on. But it definitely has to do with the oil.
So Venezuela going through a hyperinflation, and their currency is worth nothing. And by nothing, I mean 4 or 5 years ago, the bolivar was trading 1 to 7, 1 to 8, 1 to 9, 1 to 10, and now $1 will get you a million, 2, 3, 4, 5 million bolivars.
If they are buying the gold bar and buying the gold possession, I think it's going to be more valuable than their own currency because they can still use those things as currency in other countries that has no hyperinflation. So I think gold and silver can be valuable in time like that, which is rarely happen in most of the country.
Okay, so last question for you is, what do you think about cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency. It's an investment that based on the excitement, like you try to buy it at the lowest price and the price will goes up as people getting more excited about it. And the way cryptocurrency preserve their value is through the data mining, which is something that I think I don't understand and I don't want to touch it. I don't want to lose my money to something that I don't understand about. I think there are definitely people who understand about cryptocurrency, but I consider myself I don't understand this.
Do you think that cryptocurrency, whether you're talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or Zcash, do you think that these currencies are digital means of exchange? Do you think that they'll ever replace the banking system?
I think it won't replace the banking system. I mean, it's like the tangible library and the Amazon. I mean, the library can stay there, but there will be less bookstore out there. But it's not gonna disappear. It's gonna be always there. But just a matter of how much cryptocurrency becomes the way that it depends on how people get used to the cryptocurrency to do the actual transaction online, like buying stuff or paying for some items from internet, but we can do that through the credit cards. But I heard about cryptocurrency is somehow untraceable. So it has been used on the drugs a lot. This is what people talk about cryptocurrency. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know what's the use of it.
All right, YouTube, this has been you with another episode for you, Viewpoint Asia. So this has been Shen right here. So YouTube, if any of you are ever in Bangkok, make sure you come and check out Hawaii Shen store and come and just have a good meal tea. This has been Q, another episode of Viewpoint Asia saying, may the Most High smile upon all of you. You guys have a good